So Bronny James took place in the skills combine event where he put up some interesting numbers in the skills category, but obviously they also took the height and other factors that pertain to that. And he came in a lot shorter than I think some people thought that he would be without shoes on. He was like 6'1.5", which, as we know in the NBA, extremely small. Like, if you're looking at small people in the NBA, I think some people would consider Steph Curry like a smaller guard. He's still 6'3". So 6'1.5" is floating around that Chris Paul height range. I believe Chris Paul's 6'1". So similar height there, but I think he did a really good rebound after doing that within the shooting drills. He finished second out of everybody in the shooting drills. He hit like 12 of 13 3-pointers. That's key. That alone might be enough. But I think the thing that we don't factor with Bronny James a lot is how freaking athletic the kid is. Because he can without question dunk. Like, he can dunk, he can throw it above the rim, two-hand dunk, he can do all that. And he's only 6'1.5". Like, that's like an average heighted dude, you know? Like, so people that you play basketball with at the YMCA and all that, there's people that are, 6'2" or whatever, and usually they can't dunk. And he can well go above the rim. Like, Steph Curry can barely dunk, and he's taller than him. So I think he had like a 40.5-inch vertical, which is pretty good. I think that teams are going to look at that and say, although he's only 6'1", he's an athletic freak. If the three-point shot can work, then he could have a spot on this team. That's why I think after seeing that, because the height, that's around what I thought he was. I thought he was anywhere from 6'1" to 6'3". I don't think that the difference between 6'1" and 6'3" in the NBA is that big of a deal. I thought his only way anyway was going to be through, can he shoot the three efficiently? Can he become a better playmaker, like passer, all that? And can he let his athleticism carry him through defense? And can he become a defensive, big-time player? And I think that what he did in the combine brings true to all of that he could be. So I think that without question, he's going to get drafted in this. You have a lot of stuff going. You had the performance that he did in the three-point shooting within the combine today. Teams are going to like that. You have the kind of crazy athleticism, 100% if you're looking at his height, like extremely athletic. If you're doing that in relativity to his height, which I think is going to be a thing. And of course, you have the brand name of him being LeBron James' son. That's going to uplift him a little bit. So I think he's going to get drafted at this point. I think it really depends where and when. It's like, if I'm a team in the NBA, just looking at the possible upside, he's only a 19-year-old kid. I think I'd draft him at any point in the second round if I had a pick. I probably wouldn't touch him in the first round, but realistically, if we're looking at it, I think that what he did today, and although a lot of people, you're going to see a lot of videos, you're going to see a lot of people going like, oh, he's way too short now. I think that gives him a little bit more credit to just how athletic he is. And like I said, the shooting is the number one question. And he pulled up in the combine and he had the second best shooting day from the three-point range out of anybody. So that, in my opinion, is enough to where if I was a GM in the NBA, I would draft the kid in the second round. There's enough upside. He can go to the G League. He can be on the end of an NBA bench. If he can consistently hit the three, as I'm trying to say, and I know he didn't do it in college, but he also played on a really, really bad team, in my opinion. They were wildly under-successful at USC last year. If he can be in the NBA and he can somehow create his own shot, be a good pull-up shooter, he'll be an asset to a team. So I think that without question, Bronny James at some point in the draft, probably the second round, will get drafted to the NBA.